Hello. So, I've been watching YouTube for a number of years now, and decided to do a video of my own, mainly because there's not a whole lot of videos talking about the Nissan Titan XD. Let's say a long-term usage video. I've had mine since October of 16. I bought it late in the year, and it had, I think, 4 miles on it. So I bought a 2016 Nissan XD SL 4x4. Nice truck. It's in the pearl white, and I put a shell on it. I don't know if you can see in the back there. If you can see, but I got a shell on the back of mine, just a slim shell, custom shell from Lear. And I drive for work. I commute about 1,000 miles a week, and so I have 85,861 miles on my year-and-a-half-old truck. And of course, it has the diesel. It has the Cummins diesel 5.0. And I've seen some reviews about some people talking about the truck, in negative. There's always going to be one or two trucks that are going to have problems. I'm here to tell you that I've had no problems with the truck. I mean, the motor, transmission, all that, it's been flawless. I tow occasionally. I've towed a little bit of everything behind my truck, and it just pulls and pulls and pulls up a hill. I can accelerate up a hill. Things just got plenty of power. 300, I believe it's 310 and 555 foot-pounds. It's plenty for what I do. I didn't buy a hot rod. I wanted something reliable, and I knew Nissan was a good manufacturer, and Cummins. God, you can just say the word Cummins. Everybody knows that's a good design. So, as far as the truck, it's probably the most comfortable truck. It's the nicest truck I've ever had. I'm a construction guy, and so I've always been in vinyl seats, vinyl floorboards, white on white, whatever, with a black interior. I've always been into just a work truck. I've owned a number of really old trucks with 200,000 miles on them that rattled, and half the shit worked and half of it didn't. So I guess at this point in my life, having something a little nicer is nicer. You get up in age and your legs swell up if you sit too long, and your back hurts and all that. And so driving as much as I do, having a truck this comfortable has really been nice. It's been nice. I have to admit, this is my rolling sofa, as I like to call it. There is a kind of a drawback to that, and I'll tell you what it is trying not to fall asleep when you're driving. I'm not a big caffeine person. I've never been a coffee person. I like coffee, but I just never got in the habit of drinking it. So, shout out to McDonald's with their sweet tea. That sweet tea's got enough caffeine in to keep you awake. So, that's my trick. Stay awake. That and snacking a little bit, listen to the radio and what have you. But the truck's been good. I've had a couple of little issues, and took it to the dealer, and of course they were no help. Don't get me started about dealers. But one of the issues was the tailgate sometimes would unlock and sometimes it wouldn't. You go back there and try to open it, and it wouldn't be able to open. And once I put the shell on there, it really became kind of a pain in the ass, because if you can't get the back of the truck, what's the point, right? So what I did is I took the back plate off the tailgate and took a look at the mechanism, and it's overly complicated. You look at it and go, who engineered this thing? There's too many levers and stuff, and I watched it go through its motions and realized it's just poorly designed. It's a poor design. That's all it is. So I might do a video, if you all want me to, maybe in the comments, if I get enough people who want me to, I'll maybe do a video. I'll take the plate off and show you what I did. All I did was use one zip tie, and I zip tied the bracket in one place after watching it do its function, and the thing has been flawless. It works every time. Every time you hit the fob, it unlocks now. So I modified it to make it work because I'm not going to pay $300 to replace a lock that wasn't broken. It's just bad design. The other issue I've had is the lights around the radio. I think they're orange at night, and they're not controlled by the dimmer. They're not the dash lights. It's just I guess an accent lighting that lights up the buttons. They'll flicker on and off at night when you're driving. All of a sudden they'll come on and go off, come on and go off. They'll do just some little dance, and then it'll stop. And of course it's only reproducible when you're driving for 4.5 hours at night. So the dealer hasn't been able to figure out what it is, and I kind of gave up on them anyway, because whatever. It doesn't affect the function of the truck. It's a little annoying, but whatever. It is what it is. I haven't had any other issues. Did play around with the DEF a little bit. I've seen some guys had some videos on there about the DEF system. I'll tell you what I know about my DEF system, and that is I buy the blue DEF. When I buy it, I buy the blue DEF. I've also used the Walmart DEF, run them through the truck, to empty and then refilled it. I've never had any issues. I did want to find out, though, is when I first bought the truck, because I was curious, does the truck know the difference between DEF and water? And I did put water in my DEF tank. I put like a gallon, and then put a gallon of DEF in there. And I will say this: it didn't like 50% or above dilution. If you stay below 50%, it works fine. And basically, what I do is my system runs down, gets to about 30%. I put a blue DEF box, which is 2.5 gallons. I put it in the tank, and then I fill the blue DEF box up about not quite halfway, so it's about a gallon of water, and then I top off my tank. So now you've got the full 4.5 gallons of DEF with a little bit of water in it, and you go down the road and it mixes, and it's fine. And I've never had any issues with that. And I don't do it every time. I do it occasionally when I feel like it. Especially if I pay $20 for a box of DEF, I'll stick some water in it, because I just think that's outrageous. It's like $3 a gallon at the truck stops, and I recommend getting it from the truck stop. That's what I do. I try to stop at the truck stop and fill up my DEF at the pump, because it's like $2.75 or something. It's fairly cheap when you do it that way. I wish the tank was a little bigger, because with my driving, it's about like every other weekend I'm filling that DEF up, so I go through quite a bit. But other than that, the truck's been really good. Been a really good truck. It's sort of like driving a Lamborghini. There's others out there, you just don't see them. Every once in a while I'll see one going the other way, and I'm like, oh, hey, there's one. Somebody else bought one. Okay, I don't feel stupid now. But for quite a while, it's been like, you stop at a gas station and people come over and start talking to me about it. And I end up spending 20 minutes talking about the truck. And of course, Nissan hasn't sent me any money for selling their truck for them, but it is kind of neat. It's kind of neat to have a truck that nobody else has. I mean, you driving on the roads like I do. I drive Alabama and South Carolina, and all you see is Fords and Chevys. And shout out to Chevy, that new the GMC. I guess it's the High Country. What a beautiful truck, man! That's a gorgeous truck. I see them coming up behind me, and it's like, oh, that's pretty. I didn't go and buy a Nissan. Basically, the Nissan bought me. That's another story for another video, but I am not unhappy with my purchase. Expensive truck, no doubt. A lot of money for these things, but can't complain. Riding in style, it's a good truck. I will say this about modifications. I'm not one to modify a brand new truck, but I got about a little less than 15,000 miles before the warranty's up on this thing for good. And I've been eyeballing that AFE? AFE has like a tuner kit and a straight pipe and all that. And that, boy, I tell you what, as soon as I can get rid of that DEF system, I'm going to. It's just a hassle. And I'm interested to see what kind of fun I can have with this truck, with a straight pipe and change the fuel a little bit around. So if anybody's got any questions or comments, y'all know what to do. Most of y'all, I'm sure I'll get a few comments on there. But I just wanted to put my 2 cents in, mainly because I've owned this thing for quite a while now and I put a lot of miles on it. I haven't seen anybody else post anything about high mileage. I will say about fuel mileage, I run about 74 miles an hour, 75. I try to stay a little faster than the trucks I'm actually driving right now, if you can't tell. Driving back to South Carolina right now. It's April 13th. It's Friday the 13th, 2018. And I try to drive about 74 miles an hour, 75. That puts my TAC right at 2,000 RPMs. I've tried faster and I've tried slower. And any of you who drive a lot or are really in tune to your vehicles, you know that there's like a harmonic thing that happens. The truck just really settles in at a certain RPM. Everything just feels very smooth and calm. And for my truck, 2,000 RPMs is about that sweet spot. And that's where I've pretty much pegged this thing. I set the cruise, 2,000 RPMs. That puts me at about, 76 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour, something like that. And I go, and I get kind of close to 19. There's a lot of crap in my truck. I mean, I got tools in the back. I'm probably carrying maybe 600 pounds worth of stuff, including the shell. I know that's changed the aerodynamics a little bit. And I'm running light all-terrain tires. And, high 18s on the highway. When you drive around town and it does that fuel economy, the combination fuel economy, I'm around 16.5 or something like that. So kind of wish that was a little better. And maybe after doing the tuning and the new pipe and all that, take that DEF stiffness off, let it breathe a little better. I am running I just remembered, I am running the air filter. It's a stock box with the K&N air filter, the washable air filter. I thought that was an inexpensive way to make it breathe a little better. I don't see the point of changing the air box because the aftermarket one looks exactly the same shape and it's scavenging the air from the same hole in the fender, so I don't see the point of changing the box. And unless somebody's got something different that they want to comment on that, but I would like to see what the economy does with changing out with the AFC system. I haven't seen anybody else do anything for this truck yet. I know it's still new. We're going on our second year here, but we'll see. And if I do the tune-up, do that tune thing, then I will post a video about it. I think that'd be kind of a neat idea to see somebody do that before me, but it's all good. If anybody got any comments, just throw them at me. I'll try to answer them if I can. All right, thank you for watching. Bye.